Hi everybody. So I was gonna do this originally on YouTube, but you need 1,000 followers to do that, and I have 8. So welcome to my kitchen. This is Yamtown. We're going to learn some things about a wok today. That's probably like the biggest question I get from people is like, oh, what kind of wok should I get? Like what matters when getting a wok? How do I season it? How do I clean it? How do I take care of it? What do I need to, what utensils and shit. So, I'm going to show you my wok. It's a really cheap wok. I got it at Asia Food for like $12. They're also a restaurant supply store, so they have all kinds of woks there, different sizes, ranging between like 12 to like $30 or so. What's happening? What am I doing? I've never done live before, so. Okay, here's my wok. Kind of crude looking, but it does its job. It's good quality if you ask me for the price. Whenever you get one like this, it's going to come with like warehouse grease on it. So you want to wash that off, get a metal scrubby, some Dawn. You're probably going to have to wash it a couple times. After you wash it, you want to dry it off immediately so that it doesn't rust. It's the biggest thing with these is if you don't take care of them properly, just like your cast iron, it's going to rust. So once you get it nice and clean, you're going to want to season it. I season mine with just vegetable oil and onions and garlic if I have it. It's not necessary, but what you want to do, it's really similar to a cast iron. Get it real hot, get the oil in it, wipe it around. It's basically how you do it. There's a lot of videos if you want to watch like a video on YouTube how to do it. So yeah, that's the wok thing. Here's all of my sauces and vinegars. Ketchup. There's a lot of ketchup used in Filipino cooking. Not necessarily tomato ketchup, but banana ketchup, whatever. Got plenty of soy sauce. Got mirin. We have spicy vinegar. There's like onions and hot peppers, garlic in there. Have regular white vinegar, rice vinegar, black soy sauce. Black soy sauce is a lot different than regular soy sauce. It's thicker and it's a lot sweeter. They use it in Thai cooking a lot. Fish sauce, hoisin sauce. Got this yellow sriracha hot sauce, which is pretty good, especially if you like hot Chinese mustard. This stuff is pretty good, pretty all-purpose. It's kind of like Worcestershire sauce, however you say it. This stuff's really good. It's kind of garlicky, but it's like a seasoned soy sauce. Here's a different one. It's kind of spicy. This one's my favorite. It's just spiced coconut vinegar, and it's just like all hot peppers and vinegar. It's pretty good. This is my favorite. I don't know what's in it, but it's really good on like fried foods. Give it a good shake. Sorry if this is boring or weird. I've never done a live video before. Oh, here's chili crisp. A lot of people ask about this. It's really good. It's exactly what it is. Chili crisp. It's crispy. It's chilies. It's oil. Put it on anything. A lot of people put it on vanilla ice cream. I know it sounds weird, but don't knock it till you try it. And here's all the shit that I keep in my knife roll whenever I decide to like fully pack it. This is a survival tool, but it also has these little sharpener guys in there. This is my cleaver. Cleaver really only gets used for crushing garlic and cutting through bones. 90% of the time or more, I use my chef's knife. This knife is probably the most expensive cooking utensil I've bought, but it was a pretty good investment, I think. It was about $140. I like to keep a spatula, some kitchen shears, a straw. Never know when you need a straw. I use this mostly because we were at a pop-up somewhere and we couldn't find a spoon long enough to get to the bottom of a jar. So I know it's for like cocktails and shit, but it comes in handy. Paring knife, bottle opener, chopsticks, really big spoon, and a peeler. So if I'm packing up my knife roll to like go to a pop-up or something, this is what I like to keep in it. If I'm just going to work, I just bring my chef's knife, the peeler. Use peeler a lot. This guy I haven't used at work yet, and I've used a paring knife like once. So today I'm going to show you how to make a simple fried rice. It's really easy to make, best made in a wok, I think. Let me show you, get my selfie stick prepared. Bear with me a little bit. I don't have a tripod or anything, and this whole not being able to film on YouTube kind of like threw me off a bit. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. Okay, we'll just do this. So you want to use a day-old rice, at least day-old rice. And what I like to do is get it out of the rice cooker and put some gloves on and make sure that it's not clumpy whenever you go to put it in your wok. Want it nice and, it's still sticky, but it's a little bit easier to work with than just like a big chunk right out of your rice cooker. Icky wants to play. There's Icky. Okay. Some onions. This is like a half of a large onion. This is about 3 cloves of garlic, some red pepper, some leftover meat stuff. You can put whatever you want in your fried rice. It doesn't have to be meat, doesn't have to be this stuff. As many as little vegetables as you want. Here's some baby bok choy and some mixed greens. And if you're gonna buy some baby bok choy, you should save these little guys that you cut off, especially if you have kids, because you can use these as a stamp whenever you put the ink on or whatever and you stamp. They look like little roses, so might be a cool craft to do with your kids. If you don't have kids, if you don't like cool crafty stuff, you can throw them out, whatever. And I was going to demonstrate how to crush and cut a garlic with a cleaver like I do, but I don't know how this selfie stick thing's gonna work, so I'm just gonna skip that right now. But basically, I just take the side of the cleaver, press it down and crush it, and slice it up. Okay, I'm gonna go set this up over top of my wok so we can start cooking. Hi. This is not going as planned. Thanks to the 4 people who are watching this on my Instagram. I clearly have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Oh no, what's happening? I need a tripod. If I ever start to do this, like, for real, I need to get a tripod and stuff. And whenever I was doing this on YouTube earlier, like just checking out the camera and stuff, seeing the lighting was a lot better than it is right now. Hopefully you'll still get the general idea. So, you're gonna need a shovel. This is what I call a shovel. use it for cooking in woks, you know. You can get these wherever you can get a wok at usually. I bought this one actually at a thrift store for like 50 cents. That was pretty awesome. It was like my best thrift store find. And I like to keep my oil in a bottle. Just makes it a lot easier. One of the big things with wok cooking is you need to make sure that there's oil in it. That's one of the things that helps it stay seasoned, and over time your food won't stick. Okay, let's get started. So right now I have it on high heat because you want to get your wok hot the whole way around it, because there's different, as we cook this you'll see there's going to be different ways you want to put your stuff. So you're going to get it all hot on all sides. You're going to start to see the oil that's already in here from like the general maintenance. You want to make sure that it's always somewhat oiled, even whenever it's in storage, so that it doesn't rust, like I was saying earlier. So once it starts to smoke a little bit, you want to turn it down because you don't want it to be like smoky. And then I like to get a couple paper towels and just wipe it out. Make sure that there's, you know, like no dust or anything. Get some of the old oil off of it. Now we're going to put more oil in it so that we can start adding our food. There's kind of like an order to do this in. I'm going to put my onions and my peppers in first because they cook longer than the garlic does. So I turn the heat back up, like medium high. Oh shit, I forgot the egg. Okay, so watch this cook for a little bit. I always like to put an egg in my fried rice. This one's going to be kind of big, so it's like for me and my roommates. So I'm going to use 2 eggs. I just realized I have some friends with kids who might be watching this. I'm going to try not to curse anymore, sorry. So you want to cook this until it starts to get a little soft. You want your onions to look a little bit translucent. Me personally, I like to get a little char on my vegetables. So I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. Let it sit without stirring so that it gets a little color on it. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to mix up my egg. The egg bit with a fried rice or stir fry, at least how I do it, is, I don't want to say it's complicated, but you should really do that step first. Because you have to like half cook the egg and then take it out. And then we're going to finish cooking it later. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of char happening on the peppers. So like I said about there's different areas to put stuff on the wok. We're going to take our veggies right now and we're going to push them to the side. And we're going to move this a little bit. Add some more oil. Put your garlic in. So I think pretty much everybody knows that the wok comes from China. The Chinese did a lot of trading with the Filipinos, and that's how we got woks. And it really allowed us to do more with our cooking and kind of move it forward a little bit. So you want to keep an eye on your garlic because you don't want it to burn. You want it to like just get brown. So adjust your heat accordingly. If it seems like it's cooking a little bit too fast, turn your heat down. If it doesn't seem like it's cooking fast enough, turn your heat up. So I'm going to take this stuff out real quick so I can show you the egg part. Sorry, I'm so bad at this. Shut up, Travis. I'm just kidding, I love you. My roommate just got home. What? Giant on 33rd Street's out of tortillas, so don't try it. So I can't do live from YouTube because I don't have 1,000 followers or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. This is Instagram. It should be going to my Facebook too. I'm not sure. Okay, so we're going to do the egg part. Like I said, should have done this first, but I'm clearly not thinking right. So, some more oil. You want to get real hot because you want the egg to start sizzling as soon as it hits the oil. This egg isn't like beaten really well. Like you don't want it beaten like you would an omelet. You want some of the egg whites to show. And you only want to cook your egg part way. We're going to finish cooking it later with the rest of the stir fry. And the reason why we do this is so if you add an uncooked egg to your fried rice, like at the end, you're going to have like a weird scrambled egg rice thing, and it's kind of not cool. So see, it's like not fully cooked. You want to take it out now. Whatever little bits of egg are in there is fine. More oil. Basically, every time you add an ingredient to your fried rice or stir fry, you want to add a little bit of oil. Because whatever you're cooking before is going to absorb a little bit of the oil. So, back with this again. This is the peppers, onion, garlic that I already cooked before. So I'm going to add my meat or my protein now. And this is the point where I want to start seasoning it. Even though this is like leftover meat that already has a seasoning on it, I'm still gonna put more on it because I like salty food. So with my fried rice, I usually use 3 things. I use white pepper, salt, and MSG. Don't be afraid of MSG. There's some salt. Some white pepper. And this is, of course, like all to taste. This is probably like between an 1/8 and a 1/4 teaspoon of MSG. And like I was showing you the vinegars earlier, I use a lot of vinegar. I have a spray bottle that I like to keep next to my stove. This has apple cider vinegar, rice vinegar, and mirin in it. And I spray it like on everything. So I'm to the point where I want to add the rice. And I think that it's kind of important how you arrange your wok before you add your rice. What I like to do is I like to make like a ring. And then I put quite a bit of oil in the middle. So maybe like a tablespoon or so. And then I put my rice in the middle. You want it to be pretty hot. I have it on medium high right now. This is probably like 4 cups of cooked rice. We want the oil to be hot enough that the rice doesn't just start to absorb it. Now there's some clumps in here still. That's when you get your shovel and you just start like cutting into anything. Or you can smash the clumps of rice along the side here and they'll break up. Unless you really like your rice crispy, you always want to keep it moving. So now we are at the point where I will put my liquid seasonings in it. Any of those soy sauces or vinegars that I showed you before, you can use. A lot of people like to mix rice vinegar and soy sauce together. I just like to use a little bit of this stuff since I already have it pretty well seasoned to begin with. And you can use too much of this, so start with a lesser amount first. And again, since I got this wok at like a restaurant supply place, it has a metal handle on it. So just like with any other metal cooking things, like cast iron or whatever, make sure that this is, you know, a good temperature for you to grab before you start grabbing it. takes a little bit to learn how to do. I used to just throw rice everywhere. It was pretty not fun. So now we're going to add our half-cooked egg. Make some room again. And there's already a lot of oil in here right now. You can kind of tell like as you're cooking, but nothing is sticking to this right now, so I don't feel like I need to add any more oil. So I just like to cut it up a little bit with my shovel and start mixing it. So now the rest of the egg's gonna cook, but not like overcook. And it's not gonna turn your rice into a weird scramble. And I just kind of keep doing these like little cutting motions so that it just breaks up the rice a little, or the egg a little bit more. I don't know if you can tell, but the rice is turning really nice color. It's got that color of fried rice that we all like. Now I'm going to add my greens, the bok choy and the spring mix that I have. You always want to add that kind of stuff last since it cooks the quickest. And if you've never cooked any kind of leafy greens before, this is all going to cook down and basically disappear. And the nice thing about fried rice and stir fries, they always look good. At least I think they always look good. Like you got, if you like colors on your plate, you know, green, red, I guess it looks a little Christmassy. You can put carrots in this, you know, whatever. I was thinking out loud here. So I'm going to call this done right now. My greens are nice and wilted. What's great about the bok choy though is that it's still going to be crunchy. I like that. I guess if you want them to be like completely soft and mushy, you could like steam them before you do this, but I don't recommend that. I gotta turn this off now. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find something to put the rice in so I can show you how we're gonna clean up the wok and take care of it and put it away. So I bought these things for my wok. I don't really know what they're for. I thought it was like you put it on top of like the gas burner and have it sit better, but it doesn't work for that. So I like to, you know, put this on the table so I can put my wok on the table without rolling around or burning anything. Hi. Hi. See now not sitting on something. Alright. See, it looks better in the light. Thanks everybody who's stuck through this terribly awkward first time of me doing a live video. It means a lot. I remember a couple years ago, Dylan and I, we were invited to one of the news stations, a Fox News station, to do a cooking video, and we were all like, yeah, we came up with a plan. We're like, oh, well, whatever, they can edit it if we, mess up real bad. Nope, we get there, and Emily's like, oh, no, this is live. And we were like, oh, no, what do we do? But it worked out just fine. Look at this. It's real. So I just, put it in the bowl that had the rice in it to begin with, just so that we can show you how to clean your wok afterwards. And it's the same thing as a cast iron. If you already have a cast iron, you're going to be familiar with a lot of this stuff. I don't use soap on my cast iron or my wok unless I absolutely have to. And what I mean by that is if I'm using anything that has a sauce, a real thick sauce, it'll get stuck on there, and you kind of have to use soap. Or if I'm doing something with cheese, or if I put it away and it wasn't properly oiled, or if there was too much oil. That's the thing, is when you put it away, you don't want it to have too much oil on it, or depending on when you use it again, you're not going to be able to use it without cleaning it, because the oil is going to get real thick and weird and gross, possibly rancid too. Okay, so we got most of this out of here. Let me see if I can set this up over the sink. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel. You see how shiny that is? How much oil is on there? None of this stuff is going to stick to it, really. And there's a little bit right here. Looks like some rice got burnt onto there. All you want for that is a metal scrubby. So okay, just pretend that we're over top of the sink right now. Let me get some water real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna pour some water in here. See how the water just dances around? It's really well oiled. Just no soap or anything. Should be able to scrub this right off. Yep, that's off of there now. So get the little crispy bits off with a metal scrubby of some sort. Spray it out and then dry it out really well. You'll probably still feel some oil on there. And then get it real hot on the stove again. Wait till it starts to smoke a little bit and put the tiniest bit of oil in there, just enough for you to soak up with a paper towel, and wipe that around while it's hot. You can turn the heat off if it's already hot. You don't want it to cook the paper towel or anything. But you want to keep rubbing that around with the paper towel until it seems like no more oil is coming off of it. Does that make sense? But that way you know that there's oil in there, but it's the thinnest amount, and that's really all you need to do for protection for this. I like to store it upside down on a shelf somewhere. Yeah, that's how you take care of a wok. Definitely don't let it sit like this with water still in it, because it'll rust, and then you'll be sad. But you should be able to save it, just like with any cast iron. Just put it. A lot of people like to use salt for this. So you get some salt, whatever kind of salt. Rock salt works really well, like cooking salt, obviously, not something that you put out to melt the snow. And use that with a metal scrubby. And you get a little bit wet and you scrub it until the salt turns into like a paste. And that should help you get all the rust off of it. So once all the rust is off of it, you want to dry it over top of a flame really quick and with a paper towel, whatever, just so that like the least amount of rust can sit on there and get rusty. And then you take your oil, your hot pan, and you rub it until the paper towel is like just like a yellowy white color, not like rusty. Basically, you'll know when all the rust is out, hopefully. And if you don't, just call me. I'll help you fix it. I've rescued a lot of cast iron and a lot of woks. Trying to think of anything I didn't talk about in this mess. The next video is probably going to be a lot better. Again, thanks for like watching this and showing interest in stuff that I do, and maybe you'll go out and get a wok and try it and it won't be disastrous, or you'll feel more confident about buying a wok and making your own fried rice or stir fry or whatever. Yeah, okay, enjoy your quarantine, everybody. Bye.